Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? So, today's live is about how to use public speaking to increase your brand awareness, your personal brand awareness. Okay, and then we have a very special guest speaker, Janet Adams, who is well known in her industry in finance, and she was able to build her personal brand and to position herself as the authority in her industry through her public speaking engagements. So let's get started and let's have this conversation. I see. Okay. Okay, how are you doing? Good morning.
Good morning to you.
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining me early morning on a Tuesday morning. I used to host the live stream at 7 p.m.
Oh,
But then I realized, since COVID-19 has changed a lot of things in our daily habits, let's get it done in the morning.
definitely, definitely.
So first of all, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure having you today to discuss about public speaking and how to use it to grow your personal brand. So I know, and we have met through our amazing coach, Christy Jackson, who is the founder and CEO of Women CEO Project. So for everything related to sales and marketing people, if you're looking for a coach, Christy Jackson is the go-to person.
Definitely.
And she always speak about how you are big and on public speaking, and how you are professional about your public speaking engagement, and how it has helped you to position yourself as an authority in your industry. So let's talk a little bit about you, your background, and what you do, what you are passionate about first.
Yeah, so I am Janae Adams and I love money and helping people with their money. Yeah, because I think it helps them with their dreams. My background is I paid off $50,000 of debt in 2 years. And so I share my story around the world pre-pandemic. Now I'm doing everything virtual. But I speak to college students and I speak at corporations around financial literacy and financial wellness. So the public speaking comes around me sharing my story of how I paid the $50,000 of debt off.
Exactly. And that's a very good point that you're starting with is your story. So last week, I was focusing on storytelling to grow your personal brand. And indeed, your story is what makes you unique, right? So you were in debt and, $50,000, and you were able to pay back this debt within 2 years, which is amazing. So while you're sharing your story, you are showcasing also your skills
Yeah.
and your expertise through finance management.
Yeah.
So how did you get started with public speaking? Was it part of your strategy, or it started slowly and then you realized that it could be a powerful tool to increase your personal brand awareness?
Yeah, so it actually, I did not want to be a public speaker. I actually was in corporate America in pharmaceutical sales.
Okay.
And yeah, so when I was towards the end of paying off the debt, people just happened to hear, that I was doing this. And they asked me to come speak to a church group. That was my first one. My mother asked me to speak to a church group about it. And I was in my head, I was like, I'm just here to tell you all my story and just to kind of give you all some tips. And when I got finished, what we call the mother of the church, one of the mothers, she said, "This is going to be what you're going to do." And I was like, "No, I'm not, lady." I'm in corporate America.
No way.
I'm going to be in corporate America until, I get my gold watch and retire. But I went and did a few more free ones. And then one time someone just gave me $250 that I didn't, I was just volunteering to do it. And I was like, maybe I can make a business out of this. And then I went and found my mentor, and he walked me step by step of how to get this business started, because he basically came from where I came from and had built.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you realize at that point that, okay, you were building a personal brand, or, it just came out of the blue, and then you realized that you could make a business out of public speaking? But did you realize at that time that it could, help you build and create and grow your personal brand at the same time?
Yeah, and that's once I started speaking, I realized, okay, Janae, you're actually the face of this, and you are the brand. Like, it's not Debt Sucks University. That's not it. It's Janae. Like, people
Hmm.
are Janae, and so everything I did from after the first year of me building my business, it was like everything has to be in line. The colors have to be in line. The marketing has to be in line. Social media has to be in line. My emails have to be correct and look right.
Hmm.
Everything is your branding, not just me getting up on stage. That's the finished product. It's
Yeah.
everything up to it. And even now that we have social media, it's, when I come on live, it's my brand. Like, I can't come up here looking just any kind of way. Everything is branding and your personal brand. Yes.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the process of building your personal brand. We are early 2021, and we know that personal branding has been on the rise for the
Yes.
past few years, and more so for the past, like, maybe year. Personal branding is something that I've been building for the past 10 years, because I was very aware that, okay, my name and my position, my message is the only thing I will ever own in my life. So since the beginning, and since I had no money and I had nothing, I had just myself and my voice. I quickly realized that I could use it to build my professional reputation. And this is what I have been using social media for the past 10 years to build my professional reputation, because your personal brand is nothing else than your professional reputation, your credibility, right? So while people were posting pictures of their party and their, going on vacation on Facebook and so on, back in time, I was just sharing a depth about my career and my progress at large.
Yeah.
So now we know that a lot of people not realize the importance of personal branding, especially that we have shifted to the online world with COVID-19.
Yeah.
I think the shift that happened was would have happened anyway, but it just happened like in a very short period of time. So what advice would you give to people who want to start
Mm-hmm.
their personal brand, but also realize the power of public speaking? Because something, and I think that's the positive aspect of it. A lot of people like are scared to death of personal public speaking, and and I don't know why my phone keep turning off. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And there was like a lot of surveys, and I was doing research this morning again, and I was seeing that public speaking is ranked as the scariest thing
Yes.
to do in the world,
It is.
right? So now that we are all indoor, you can still do it from the comfort of your home. And if you're scared of speaking in front of people, now you're just like speaking to your screen, basically.
Yeah.
So I think it's an opportunity for those who are shy or introvert to
Mhm.
start getting familiar with public speaking. So how do you transition from public speaking in real life,
Yeah.
if I mean in person, as
Yeah.
opposed to public speaking online, in terms of building, keeping the momentum actually for your personal brand?
Yeah, so if for people, like, let's say you work a 9 to 5, you are building your brand every time you get on a Zoom call or Microsoft Teams with your teammates or with your boss. You're building your brand even there. And before we had this, pandemic and so forth, you didn't even have to be online. You didn't have to be on LinkedIn or anything like that. You didn't have to worry about your online presence because you showed up every day and people seeing your brand there. But now you're not going in the office anymore. Okay. Or if you're an entrepreneur, you're not going to see clients. This is it. And so this is the opportunity to really hone in your skills, whether it's social media, whether it's Zoom or Microsoft Teams, to be able to present yourself in as a authority in your field, no matter what that field is, entrepreneurship, or if you work in a corporate or nonprofit. This is your opportunity to reach more people than you would if you were in the office or you're going to see one client. So now if I get on to a Zoom call at a conference, it's not just maybe 20 people in the room. Now it might be 300. And so now this is your time to expand your personal brand. This is your time to put your best foot forward, whatever your authority is in. Put your best foot forward and say, okay, I'm an idea generator. I have the authority in this industry this is the time for me to build it up. And you're seeing it everywhere. I would use music as an example. It's a DJ called DJ D Nice.
Okay.
There's not a lot of people that knew him before the pandemic. Now he started something called Club Quarantine. This is personal branding at its finest. And live every night. But since the last March, he has been able to he's gone on the road with Senate candidates, been hired for,
Oh,
and he even opened up the night before the inauguration for President Biden. So he has his own commercial with Ford now with the F-150. That
wow.
has happened. I mean, Essence, his whole personal brand has went through the roof since last April because he showed up and showed that he's an expert in that industry. So that's the kind of example I want to give to people. But it's more than that. Like you should,
Mm-hmm.
now is your opportunity to really make a difference, and doing that through this is public speaking. What you and I are doing right now, this
Yeah.
is speaking. So you just have to cut your phone on, get on Instagram Live, get on Facebook Live, and just start talking. That's it. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And then you can use those kind of videos to send it out to people, to put it on YouTube, as you building your portfolio basically when
Yeah.
you're doing IG lives, Facebook lives, LinkedIn lives, and so on. So now let's talk about something that is very close to my heart is being a female in a male-dominated environment.
Yeah.
We know the challenges have been there, and you are like in a male-dominated environment too, right? So, and we know, how it can be intimidating and how we have, to speak up and to work twice harder, three times harder to prove ourselves. And, when we are sitting at the table, we still have, to position ourselves and to speak up again. Otherwise, we wouldn't get noticed. But since, as you said, now we're not going to the office anymore, we're not going to these boardrooms or meeting rooms like with and being the only female in the room basically. So how do you think, being online and being able to use your voice online, as the way you said, growing and navigating through a male dominated environment can help us?
Yeah, so being able to show up. So for all the women out there, just being able to show up and use your voice. Because now you're not sitting in a room where someone can interrupt you. They can't interrupt
Yeah, that's what I like
you.
though.
If you're on live or you're on the Zoom, everybody's muted. If you're talking, you're talking. No one can just, interrupt you. So this is your opportunity to really use your voice. And this is also your opportunity to find male allies.
Yeah.
As far as public speaking is concerned, pricing is always an issue. Okay, so this is for anybody who wants to do public speaking. Even if you work in a corporate setting, you can use public speaking to make money on the side. And pricing is always an issue. So I have allies who are male friends who let me know what they get paid, even from people within my.
Oh,
And so
okay.
I know what the budget is before I reach out to you. And so when you say, well, I don't have it, but you already paid my male counterpart in a different subject matter, this amount, then we got to talk about value, because you're not seeing my value because the money is there. And so that is what I would tell women, that this is your time to really come up, because there's no interruptions right now.
Yeah, and because there is a lot of studies that are like being published, and and articles about how COVID-19 has disproportionately affected women, losing jobs, and women who have to try to find a balance.
Yes.
So balance, between work and homeschooling and keeping the kids at home. But on the other side, um, you can use it. I like, in every situation, I like to see the glass half half full.
Yeah.
And so the way to approach actually this crisis and this pandemic, and and all the impact that it has on the job market, is to use all the online tools that you have available to speak up and use your voice and make yourself heard, because there is no better time that now everyone is indoor for you to speak up and to be listened, not only by people within your company or your industry, but now the word is your platform.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you have, it's borderless now, it's limitless, and
Yeah.
you never know who is watching you. That's the thing. You
Exactly.
never know who is watching you, and it might be someone like in another country, but who have been through your journey and who was able to make it, or who has faced some challenges, or who can give you tips. And this is how you are going to grow. And you mentioned that, and I think that's brilliant, that doing an IG live is public speaking,
It is. It,
it doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to be like staged, it doesn't have to be like with so many people like on the other side of the screen. If you don't reach out to people, if you still don't feel comfortable reaching out to people, and this will be my next question to you actually, Janet, just create your own speaking opportunities. That's
exactly.
it. Through the Smart Women Live series, I'm creating my weekly speaking opportunities, right? Because I'm not going to wait for someone to offer me an opportunity. So you are in control of what you want to do and how you can do it. So now let's talk about how to reach out to uh, companies or people if we are an expert on a subject
Yeah.
matter, and that we want to talk about it through to a company or the government or non-for-profit whatsoever.
Yeah, so I say it's a two-part situation when it comes to how do you reach out. First and foremost, you need to have a presence online.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to speak on a subject or your expertise, before you start reaching out to people, there needs to be some kind of lineage that you've been doing this already.
Receipts. Put
Yeah.
your receipts out there.
Definitely. So whether you have lives on Instagram, whether you have shared articles and videos on LinkedIn, that you need a website. If you want to go speak to somebody, I don't care if it's just a one-page website, because you may work for another company. There are plenty of executives that work for other companies that you see them speaking at conferences, you see them speaking at other companies. So you don't have to be a professional public speaker to go and share your expertise and get paid for it and build your brand. So first, make sure that you have everything out there online, and then start to reach out to those targets. So whoever your clients may be, let's say that I want to speak within an industry. I'm going to go to human resources. So I'm going to go wherever human resource professionals are, because they're the ones who bring me in for financial wellness. So
Mm,
that you have to go where your potential client may be at. So if it's a certain industry, then you need to gravitate towards there. You need to reach out to those people on LinkedIn, get the emails that you need to get, and start emailing people and making phone calls. That's the only way to get it done. Emails and phone calls. Emails, a lot of them. And so that is the way to get in contact with potential speaking engagements or potential ways to build your brand. Because you may not want to be a professional speaker, but you want to increase your coaching program. You want to sell books. That's what speaking does.
yeah.
Speaking puts your product out there and your courses or whatever it may be at, to up your brand and rate and bring in more money.
Yeah, so public speaking is not only about, and that's great actually that you're bringing that. It's not about only increasing your personal brand, but it's about also, putting your products and services in front of a larger audience, right?
Definitely.
So you said that you have to have a web page. Would a LinkedIn profile be enough, or you think it's still necessary to have a website, a one-page website?
You can It depends on what your goals are. If you're someone who is, let's say someone working within a company and you want to go speak at another company in a different industry, but around your topic of soft skills, let's say that's what it is, then maybe you can just have a LinkedIn page. But if you're really trying to get people to take you seriously and you want more than just one speaking engagement, a one page website will be great. And it just has your talking points, your different subjects you speak on, and your bio. You're saying, I work at Company X. I have been with Company X for 15 years. I am the vice president of so and so, whatever it may be. Because it's only so much that LinkedIn can give you visually, and people buy
True.
visuals. That's what they buy. They see a nice, snazzy website. They're like, well, this person must be important. We might need to look at this.
Hmm.
So LinkedIn just kind of gives you these bullet points. They really not putting it out there, and people love visuals. That's what they hire the visual first, and then they make sure that you actually can speak, and that's where the other parts come in as well.
Yeah, because I think it was a few days ago where you shared the video where you were like recording a video to send it in order to get the public engagement. So when you pitch people for public speaking opportunities, sometimes they may ask you to send a video
Yeah.
So you do record the video, or you can send them like videos from previous speaking engagements, right?
Yes, definitely. And I even, and this is something that has to go with personal branding as a speaker. I even go a step further and I do promo videos that, once they, with the contracts are signed, promo videos. It's about stepping above and beyond what your competition may be. I don't care what you're doing and what industry you are. You have to be above. Like people have to say, no, Janae is the go-to. If you want financial literacy or financial wellness, engagement with your audience, Janae is it. Janae from the beginning to the end kills it. Like she's the easiest person to work with.
Yeah, because you are professional. And once again, it's about building your professional reputation. I was surprised one day to hear Gary Vee saying that like so many people hate the term personal
Yeah.
branding, and they think that it's not for them, or it's about, doing like show off and bragging. But no, building your personal brand is really like building your professional reputation, so people know who you are, and so you position yourself as the go-to person in your industry. And I think it's very important to make the difference and to understand the true meaning of what the personal branding is. And as you said, doing public speaking, either in front of your church, at your church, or for companies or non-for-profit, or on LinkedIn, on social media, by yourself, this is public speaking. So you have the opportunity to create your own opportunities, and it doesn't cost you a dime, but still it allows you to position yourself as an authority in your industry, because you are talking about a topic that you master, about your expertise, and so on and so on. So what would be maybe 3 tips, practical tips, that you could share with us for those who wanna get started with public speaking in order to increase their brand visibility?
Yeah, so people who want to get, started with public speaking, first and foremost, like I said, you have to have an online presence. So if you're not going to have, you got to have a website. I'm going to go ahead and say that you got to have a website.
Buy your domain name.
Yeah.
Actually, I bought my domain name, Darren Benamara. I haven't done my personal website yet, which I should definitely. But just buy your name. It will cost you maybe $3, $4, $5, and that's it.
Yeah. So definitely having a website, because if you start reaching out to people, they're not going to take you seriously, if you don't have a website. And so that's the one tip I would say. Have a website. Even if you don't want it to be a professional speaker, you still need to have a website. I have so many higher ed, college and university professors and so forth, they have their website. They're a professor, but they have their website because they want to go speak somewhere and build up the brand of their personal brand and the brand of the university that they're at. So that's why, even if you're not trying to be a professional speaker, you need to have a website. Secondly, understand what your target is. Who are you trying to go after? Who is your audience? And once you figure out who your audience is, who has control over that audience? So like I said, if my audience is employees and I'm trying to bring them financial wellness, they are not my direct target. Human resources is. So first website, then target, and then you have to get your speech together. We are not getting up in front of people and just winging it. Okay, because if you go up there and wing it, you will not be back.
Yeah, be prepared. That's
Yeah.
all about preparation. When I used to focus on networking strategies for women leaders, actually, the like the big chunk of the work is in the preparation and the homework. And a lot of time, people, they just want to jump into the activity, the action. Yes, but if you want to get the proper results and get it right, you have to prepare yourself, and to do your homework. So look for who you should send your pitch to, because there is nothing more annoying to sending emails to people, but they are not the right ones. So there is
Yeah.
a strong chance that they won't get back to you, and you will keep like sending emails, and you will waste your time, and you will get frustrated. So do your homework, do your research, and look at who are the people in control, who are the decision makers when it comes to hiring public speaker, or hiring trainers, and so on and so on. Very true. So let me see if we have any questions. So this is the new Instagram here. So I have a question box. This is the first time I see that. But actually, a few people send me their question that I ask you through the IG Live. So that's good. And I do believe we have answered all of them. Oh, one more question that I have for you, and then I will let you go.
Okay.
I know this is the beginning of the day. Um, how do you ensure that you stay consistent with your message when you go speak at events? I'm asking you this question because the question that I get asked often is, okay, but how do I package my knowledge? How do I package my knowledge? Because I'm multi-passionate, I'm good at a lot of things, and I like to say, being good at a lot of things, but none for none of them, like it's unnecessary, right? So focus on one thing that you are excellent at and focus on this. So now, how do you ensure that you are consistent with your messaging across your different speaking engagements?
Yeah, so I have my story already crafted. My
Okay.
speech is my speech. So wherever you hire me at, that speech is the same, and it just adjusted for who the audience is. And so you don't have to keep changing things. You need to craft your speech. So I have a speech that is an hour. I have a speech that's 45 minutes. I have a speech that's almost an hour and a half. It is,
Oh,
but it might be expanded, it might be contracted, it might be adapted for the audience. So if I'm talking to high school students, that's not the same as talking to an employee. So
definitely.
exactly, so it's still the same message going across each and every time. So I know it like the back of my hand. Like if I can go through my whole presentation with you right now from the beginning. And so that
Wow.
that's how you stay consistent with it. You have to memorize it and understand that. And I have a what you call a signature keynote. And so my signature keynote is all about money, but I also have other workshops and keynotes that deal with leadership or entrepreneurship or social media, and those have their own presentations with it. But the main one is the main one, and that is how you keep consistent with it.
Okay, and it comes back to being prepared. So
Yeah,
make sure that you put the like most of your time and energy in the preparation in order to be ready. That's
yeah,
all about being ready, right?
definitely. You have to be prepared because if not, you won't get invited back. And
Okay.
yeah, and people want that'll hurt your brand from the beginning. If people are saying, okay, she wasn't even prepared. She's known about this for weeks. Why is she saying or why is she stumbling over her PowerPoint and so forth? If you're going to speak somewhere or you're going to build your brand, you should know everything that's going to happen. You should know if someone throws you, a hard ball, that you're able to come back with no problem. You're not saying you're not saying
Yeah.
none of that. This is not a live, like this is free, like this is freestyling. So if you stutter on this one, understandable, okay. But if you speak for somebody, you need to be prepared.
Yeah, and it reminds me actually of one time I was doing a presentation, so with the PowerPoint as a backup,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was in West Africa, and the electricity cut off. So I
Wow.
found myself on the stage in front of people, and I had no PowerPoint. But I didn't mind because I
Yeah.
knew I
You're,
knew my topic, I knew my presentation. So the PowerPoint was just a support, but I was able to continue and to deliver a high quality presentation without even having the PowerPoint because it was just about having bullet points, as you said, and so
yeah.
on. But when you are prepared and when you master your pitch, then with or without support or for anything else that can happen during the presentation, then you know that you can still make it happen. You can still get the ball rolling
Yeah,
because you are prepared, you are ready.
exactly, definitely.
So that's great. So thank you so much for this wonderful conversation, Janet. I appreciate it. So the live conversation will be available on my IGTV and later on YouTube. So I will send you the link if
Okay.
you want them to share them. And that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you who joined this early morning live conversation. Thank you for all the time and the knowledge and the tips that you have shared with us. I appreciate it and we appreciate you. And I wish you a wonderful day.
All right, you too. Thank you for having me.
Bye
All right.
bye.